Hello and welcome back to Grim Survival. This is going to be a quick channel update and a couple of news things just to go over really quickly. Yeah, I have been absent here for about a week. Last video I posted was Monday of this week. It is now Friday. My Sabbath is starting very soon and I will be shutting it down. So I'm going to try to get this online prior to that. Well, as long as I have it uploaded prior to that, I do no work from then on. YouTube handles it after the upload with a couple of button pushes, but that's beside the point. Where I have been is I've started a new job in a new vehicle, and I have been running local deliveries and things like that, and freelance work really, and it has kept me really busy this week, and we'll see if that helps at all. Um, unemployment has been cut off to nearly 800 million Americans. Um, the government decided, we didn't need it. Yep, we're good. But they're still paying the child tax credit, aka one of the, the stupid booster payments, whatever they called those stupid things. I don't even remember what they called them anymore. Yeah, my brain's fried. I'm tired. I haven't slept much, so sorry about that. Yeah, they're still paying, I don't know, what was it, $300 per kid per month or something like that. Something like that. They're still paying that, but we didn't need the unemployment. 800 million Americans didn't anyway. Just, you can't get people back to work. Oddly enough, now hiring signs everywhere. Absolutely everywhere I go, I see now hiring signs. And when I say everywhere I go, I've been pretty much everywhere in the last week. I have driven all over the place. I've seen cornfields. I have seen grocery stores. I have seen every type of everything. And what I see is a common theme everywhere I go. Prices are going up even more drastically. They still continue to climb no matter what it is, where you go. Prices are climbing. Supply and demand. Every time somebody talks about a food shortage, you get these people that come on and they say, well, I don't see food shortages in my area. What they don't realize is they're in the middle of a food shortage. That's why the prices are going up so much, supply and demand. There's not enough supply to meet the demand, so therefore prices are going to increase. And it may look like your shelves are full at your grocery store, but it's not the shelves that you have to be concerned with at a local grocery store. It's what you do not see. It's the food in the back room, the supply room, the warehouse, the storage, the stuff that has to go onto the shelves within a day or 3 days, as it were, 2 years ago, back in 2019, before all of this happened. Now, we don't do that. The back rooms are empty. There is no more surplus. There is no more storage. It goes directly from the truck to the shelves. That's why we are still saying food shortages, because we are seeing food shortages. We are seeing a lot less of the supply, and we cannot meet the demand. Any restaurant you go to, their menus are getting smaller and smaller and smaller because they cannot keep making the elaborate things they used to make with the elaborate ingredients that they used to get. I mean, certain things are imported from all over the world that you can eat. You cannot just grow absolutely everything in certain areas. So, we won't get into logistics or anything in that in this. I am very familiar with logistics, so... sorry, email. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I really don't have much for you today. I'm going to get back to it next week and try to get on a regular thing in between my erratic schedule that I have going right now. And I will try to get out a daily or every other day video. I'm going to start that back up next week. Next week for me starts Sunday. So yeah, Sabbath is almost here. Almost. I'm just waiting for that sun to go down, and then I'm going down. I'm done. It's been a long week. It really has. A long and hard week. Oh, just a reminder, if anybody likes this t-shirt, you can find it on my Teespring account. Link in the description. I like this t-shirt. This is my favorite t-shirt. But yeah, that's about it. Everything is just falling apart. Everything all around us. That's what it seems like, but we've been saying it now for a little over a year. Going on 2 years now. It's not quite got there. You got to understand how civilizations work and how they, rise and fall. Study the fall of the Roman civilization, or any other civilization for that matter. It has a similar pattern. no matter which one you're reading about. They always follow a similar pattern. Whatever the cause isn't, doesn't really determine the effect in this case. I mean, the cause is the reason for the effect, but we have to focus more on the effect than the cause, because the cause is already there. There's no getting around it. There's no stopping the cause. That's just that. The effect, obviously, is, long-term collapse. Collapse doesn't happen over the period of a day or a week or a month or even a year, or in some cases even 10 years. Collapses, they take forever. Not necessarily, but they take a long time. It's a very gradual thing. It builds up and builds up and builds up. It's kind of like playing the Lego game. You take the smallest square of a Lego you can, and you get as many of them as you can, and you keep building up and up and up until it eventually leans and falls over. That's, the best analogy I can give you for how a civilization collapse works. And we're teetering right now. We've been teetering for a while, but it takes a long time to keep stacking those Legos until it finally falls over. But we keep stacking them. Just watch TV. Just read the news. We keep stacking them. That's for sure. We've dug a hole so deep now in debt that we will never climb out of it. Our food supply we're in the middle of harvest season right now. September 20th, I believe it is. September 20th is the harvest moon, the full moon. It's the harvest moon. This is harvest time. We are starting to harvest crops all around me. Here or there. It's not widespread yet, but a few of them have started. And over the next month to 2 months, it will all be gone. It'll be out of the fields and where it needs to go. We're in the middle of the summer. Farmers markets everywhere. Food everywhere. People growing their own. This is awesome. But those warehouses are empty. It's going right from the truck to the shelf. Which means come wintertime, if that truck misses its appointment, if weather happens and shuts down that truck, if some kind of fuel crisis happens and shuts down transportation, you have 1 day of supply of food in your local grocery store. If you're lucky, you have 2. And that's for people that live in the farm belt. People outside of the farm belt are lucky to have half a day in some of these cases. The wildfires are still going on. We're burning the West Coast. Hurricanes are just, the East Coast is just a target. It's like somebody painted a big bullseye over there. And not to mention Louisiana, the Gulf Coast. It's just a disaster everywhere you look around us. It's economic, it's natural disasters, weather, it's just everything. So, we will have to adopt a mindset that you hear a lot about from military personnel. I believe it's one of the key things to military, especially in the Marines, is adapt and overcome. We are going to have to adapt and overcome this situation. The easiest way to adapt and overcome is self-reliance. Can you produce your own food and clean your own water? Those are the key factors right there. Food and water. Obviously, most of us have some form of shelter. I assume if you're watching videos like this, you have shelter in the form of a home, apartment, or whatever. It's shelter. It counts. But do you have skills to make your own food? Can you produce food? Can you grow enough to feed not only yourself, but any other people depending on you? Can you feed them with things that you've grown to last until you can grow more things? Typically about over the winter, about a year's time. Can you do that? If you do not have these skills, you better start buying some books. Don't rely on the internet. It won't always be there. Oh, that's one more thing I keep hearing about: possible internet outages and shortages due to solar storms. That's always been a possibility, but now they're saying it's actually happening, and we could see internet outages sporadic all over the United States. And yeah, that'll be interesting to see how many people can survive without their internet. You would be surprised how many people are so dependent on it. Not just, for medical reasons or anything like that, but just normal, everyday people that just really cannot live without a cell phone or some sort of device or intake of information is really what it is. They cannot live without this intake of information. And if it's suddenly cut off, I mean, it really is an addiction. You can look this up. This is an addiction. If that intake is cut off, people will do drastic things, including, you know, just calling it a quits on this whole experience of life. They will do so. It's happened. It really has. So internet outage is possible. Doesn't bother me any. Won't be posting videos if the internet's out though. Oh well. But that's enough for me. I will be back next week. Thank you for having patience with me. And yeah, if you didn't have patience with me, thank you anyway for not having patience with me. And as they say down south, bless your heart. Alright, this has been James with Grim Survival, and I'll see you next week.